Hi, Maria here. Welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about challenging fragrances. So they may be fragrances that are really polarizing. So there's a few fragrances here where you guys have weighed in and some of you are like, that is disgusting. And other people are like, that is amazing. That is the way it is with most fragrances. But for whatever reason, they could be off-putting for some. And so I want to share those. Some of them are off-putting for me. Quite a few of them are, but some of them aren't. I'm excited to share, but before we get started, if you haven't subscribed, just go ahead and hit that button. Join the Weird and Wonderful family. It would be amazing to have you part of the community, and let's get into this. What I find fascinating is the more you delve into fragrance, the more you actually learn to appreciate challenging fragrances. So fragrances that do not smell mass appealing all of a sudden become extremely interesting. And I think part of it is because as you explore perfumery, as you explore different genres of fragrance, what happens is you start to appreciate the fragrance as an art form, I think, more than just smelling good. So I want to preface all of these by saying these are fragrances that some people really love and some people really hate. And I really love some of them and really hate others. So I want to share with you why. I'm going to start with Instant Crush by Manera. Manera as a house is kind of a challenging house just across the board. And part of it is because there's a bit of an interesting DNA kind of base to their base that has almost like an oily smell. So there's I don't know, like that's the only way. It's definitely different. So you have to kind of get accustomed to that or kind of acclimatize yourself almost to that first smell. It smells quite synthetic. Otherwise, I think most people, when they first smell a Manera, may find them off-putting. That said, they're really quite amazing fragrances. But the first one I want to talk about is Instant Crush. Now, people love this fragrance. Like the people that love this fragrance love it hard. Like I know for some, this is one of their favorite fragrances, like top 10 for life. The reason why I think it's quite a popular fragrance is because it has a little bit of similarity to a Baccarat Rouge 540. So there is just that sweet kind of airy, almost spun sugar feel that is in this fragrance that is similar to Baccarat Rouge, but this one has a woodiness in it. So it's almost like a more masculine version of Baccarat Rouge. So if you're a guy, I can see you really enjoying this. It's also quite a luxe smelling fragrance. Now, just before I did this, I sprayed it on my hand and we'll see how it plays out. But I actually, like, even just smelling it on the cap, I liked it way more than I've ever liked it. So I've not really enjoyed this. And the reason why is, to me, it smells like, you know, it's like, okay, just full on. It smells like a guy that's a little bit shorter, super stocky, super hairy, like super hairy. Like we're talking, like, and I have no problem with hair, but this guy is so hairy, he has to shave down to here, and you see the lawn line, like the hairline here, and then it's just hair. And he wears his shirt kind of down to about his belly button with quite a few chains, usually is wearing velour sweatpants, that kind of guy. That's what it reminds me of. So he smells a little bit sweaty, a little bit greasy, and a little bit like Baccarat Rouge 540. So that's the vibe that I normally get with this fragrance. I really have struggled with this one. So when I first put it on, it smells amazing. But then as it sits, it gets more woody. And then somehow this weird sweaty vibe comes to play for me. And so I really, really struggle with this one. Now, that said, I'm not really noticing that. I'm actually finding it uber sexy. So who knows, maybe I've changed my mind. I'll keep you posted, but you guys let me know. So when I'm talking about these fragrances, you tell me, are you a fan or do you just absolutely not like it? Leave it in the comments. Actually, for all of these, do that. Now, the next one is one of the new ones in my collection, and it is a huge, huge love for me. But I've had one subscriber, she is wonderful. She's always leaving comments. She's just great. But anyway, she's mentioned a couple times that she cannot wear this because it smells like pickles. And it is Kahlil Lux. I don't know how you get pickles out of this. Like when I smell it, I don't smell pickles, I smell tobacco. That said, we all pick up different things. So I think it's really important, you know, if someone says to me, it smells like pickles, my guess is there'll be at least another 100 people, if not more, that really find this repulsive. And like it smells like pickles. I think it smells super sexy, spicy, woody, boozy, tobacco. I love it. But if you smell pickles, tell me in the comments. You know who you are. I think it was Cher. I think that's her name. I could be wrong. But anyway, she always says, that smells like pickles to me. So again, fragrance is so subjective. And so it's so important to realize that one person's love might smell like pickles to you. Another fragrance that is uber challenging that also smells like pickles is Marc Jacobs Decadence. Now, this came out quite a long time ago and it is discontinued. And again, this came out early 2000s. And I remember when it came out because I went to the Bay and the lady was like, oh, you've got to see our new fragrance. And so she takes me over and she shows me this and she goes, isn't this gorgeous? Like, isn't it absolutely stunning? Like, it looks like a little purse. Like, isn't that amazing? And all I could think of is, that is hideous, hideous. But lots of people love this bottle, like totally love it. So that's the thing. We're all so different. Anyway, the fragrance. When I first smelt this fragrance back then, I remember smelling it and it was everything I could do to keep my face like this as she was talking. So she's talking up this fragrance, how it's so sexy and it's got plum and vanilla and it smells so good. And so I go to smell it and I want to go like this. And I can feel my lips starting to do this action. Like sometimes if something is bad, like it just starts to curl. Like I can't even help it. But I was like trying to keep it together. So I'm like this, just grossed right out by it. Now, fast forward years later, the thing about this fragrance is that it's quite complex. It's got plum, it's got saffron, it's got iris. It smells kind of green. To me, it smells like a green vanilla, but there's no vanilla in this, so I don't quite get it. There's orris, jasmine, sambac, rose, and then I know there's vetiver in the base. What I get is a plummy vanilla. And before I hated this, and even like 5 years ago, I smelled this and I was like, oh no, I don't like this. Now, I really, really enjoy this. It's quite sexy. The plum is beautiful. It's kind of green and to me, it's a complex vanilla. So I really, really enjoy this, but some people smell dill pickle. So this is another dill pickle smell. I don't smell dill pickle and I was scared, like, 'cause a lot of times when someone says, oh, it smells like this, then you smell it. For me, I don't get dill pickle out of this. So I really still enjoy this fragrance. I don't wear it that often just because it's a bit of a challenging fragrance. So it's complex enough that I feel almost self-conscious wearing it. Although people swear by this and say it's the sexiest thing and everybody loves it. That it was a great clubbing fragrance back in the day because it was so sexy. So it's kind of shocking to me because I feel self-conscious wearing this because I feel like it's challenging, but a lot of people find it uber sexy. So Decadence, do you smell pickles or do you smell plummy goodness? Another fragrance that I have heard tons of people talk about, I think I've smelt it once. I know I smelt it once, but I actually don't remember what it smells like, but it is one of those fragrances that you either loved it or hated it. And it was Womanity. Like, people had a visceral reaction to Womanity because it smells like salty. It's got caviar in it. It has figs. So some people are like, this is the sexiest thing I've ever smelled. It smells so good. I smell the fig and it's just sensual and warm and just amazing. And other people think it smells just so raunchy, dirty, and bad, like bad. So if you're one of those, leave it in the comments. Do you like Womanity? Do you think it's the best thing ever? Please leave it down below. It has fig caviar and then fig components like the leaves and stuff. And so people either smell fig and almost like a solar kind of soft, awesome smell, or they smell like a fishy vagina. Like that. They smell a fishy vagina. So that's your two options. It either smells amazing or it smells like dirty girl parts. So I would have to smell it again because it's been a long time. I wasn't that grossed out by it, but it certainly wasn't one that I loved. But actually what I love is that Mugler always puts out polarizing fragrances. So Womanity, Alien, Angel. If you love Angel, you love it hard. If you hate it, you hate it hard. All of them have major polarizing responses. And personally, I just love that. To me, that is the sign, honestly, of a masterpiece. When something gets such a massive response either way, it's like, what are people smelling? I love it. And I love how unique that makes each of us. And to me, it speaks to so many, like, to me, it's a whole philosophy. It's like we see things so differently. It can, we can see it as bad or we can see it as good. Are either wrong? I don't think so. So I find it really fascinating. I love it. Anyway, so Womanity, definitely people, and same thing with the bottle. I think the bottle is creepy. Like, to me, the bottle looks like something that some goddess from before time began would use in a ritual killing. Like, it's just the weirdest bottle, kind of alien-esque. Yeah, just the weirdest bottle, but some people just think it's amazing. And again, it's a bit of a work of art because it's so intriguing and different and weird. So gotta appreciate it. But Womanity, definitely weigh in. Of course, you guys know my feelings about Black Orchid. The queen of the underworld wears it. She wears it well, but she wears it nonetheless. You get a whiff and you at first go, that smells so good. And then the closer you get, the closer you know you're getting close to your own demise, because she is going to eat you for dinner. Like, the fragrance just smells so weird to me. It smells like death, but somehow at the same time kind of good. Nobody is on the fence with Black Orchid unless you're like me and you keep on going in for a sniff. And you kind of like it and kind of don't. But that kind of also reminds me of farts. Like, I'm sorry, but we all kind of do that. Someone blows it and we go, ew, ew. We just do that, So there's something about it that's rotten that I kind of like. And it's growing on me. But those that love it, it's the sexiest fragrance ever. Like, they're like, oh, it's so sexy. Like, that is my date night fragrance. My man goes wild for that fragrance. So people love Black Orchid, but you're one side or the other for sure. Last fragrance that I'm going to talk about today, there's really so many that I could mention. But the last one I want to talk about is Crystal Noir. And that one, again, has a cult following. Like, that's such an amazing fragrance. And so for people that love it, I know one woman wrote, and she said her husband, when he smells that, he just goes, that smells like sex. And it just, he loves it. Like, he loves that fragrance. So lots of women really enjoy it, find it really sexy. There's a coconut. There's coconut in it. There's a pepper in it. So it's really different. To me, it smells like men's aftershave. So somehow there's just quality. Now, I haven't smelt it in a while. I actually have it somewhere in my collection. I just couldn't locate it. It's possible I would like it now, but I do know that fragrance, I put it on. I really wanted to like it, and it smells kind of like an aloof, cold assassin to me. Like, it smelled like a bad girl for sure. But It smells a little bit too masculine and aftershavey for me. I think it's the pepper. But some people just go, wow, that fragrance drives my guy wild. So again, a fragrance that some people are like, yes, please. It's my favorite. It's my favorite. My spouse loves it. And other ones are like, wait, no, it's just way too soap. It smells like soap shavings and, kind of like a little bit soapy, a little bit metallic, a little bit peppery. So which one are you? Let me know. And for all of these, which one are you? Are you team yes or team absolutely no? Please weigh in the comments, and also feel free to share what your most polarizing fragrances are, where people will smell it. Like, you know, when you have friends over or family and you go smell this and they're like, ugh. You know, that's like that to me. I just think it's fun. So anyway, that is all I have for you today. Have an amazing week, and I'll talk to you soon.